Today we learn internet addressing. So any machine or host connected to internet should have an unique address so that that machine or the host is uniquely identifiable within the network. Normally this address is known as IP address. So IP address is a 32-bit address depending obviously its version. So it is a unique address provided to a host to network interface. So if a machine is or a host is connected to a network, it should have an interface. That interface is known as host to network interface. So IP address is actually the interface address. That means it is not the address of the host itself, but it is the address of that particular interface. And it means that if a host is connected to multiple networks through multiple interfaces, then it may have a different IP addresses for its different interfaces. So a particular host may have multiple IP addresses depending on in how many network that host is connected. But the reverse is not true. That means multiple hosts should not have a common IP address. Now, what is the length of the IP address? The length of the IP address depends on the version of IP or Internet Protocol. In case of IPv4 or IP version 4, the length of the IP address is 32 bits. And as we are going into the crisis of allocating IP address, we are in the process of increasing the length of the IP address. And now in case of IPv6 or IP version 6, the length of the IP address is 128 bits. So that more hosts can be accommodated within the network by providing unique IP address. Now there are two different types of IP address. One is your classful address and other is classless address. Any IP address is having two parts. One is your net ID or network ID and other is the host ID. The network ID or the net ID is normally provided by the Network Information Center or the service provider who is allocating the IP address to a particular network. And the host ID part is controlled or assigned by the local administrator. The local administrator provides different IP addresses to the local machines, maintaining the net ID that is provided by the Network Information Center. Now, in case of classful IP address, there are 5 different classes: class A, B, C, D, and E. In case of class A, B, and C, there are two parts in the IP address. One is net ID and other is the host ID. In case of class A, first 8 bits is representing net ID and remaining 24 bits represent host ID. In case of class B, first 16 bits represent net ID and remaining 16 bits represent host ID. In case of class C, first 24 bits represent net ID and remaining 8 bits represent host ID. In case of class D and class E, there is no demarcation like net ID and host ID. Class D is normally used for multicast addressing and class E for experimental purpose. Now, how to distinguish these different classes? Just by seeing the bit pattern that is governed by the starting bit pattern of different classes. These starting bit patterns are different. In case of class A, the bit starts with 0. In case of class B, the starting bit pattern is 1 0. In case of class C, it is 1 1 0. In case of class D, it is 1 1 1 0. And in case of class E, it is 1 1 1 1. Accordingly, the starting byte or the first octet will have a range indicating the particular class. So in case of class A, the starting bit pattern will have a range of 1 to 127. Similarly, in class B, the starting bit pattern will have a range of 128 to 191. In case of class C, it is 192 to 223. In case of class D, it is 224 to 239. And in case of class E, it is 240 to 245. So just by seeing the starting bit pattern, we can definitely identify the class of a particular IP. So IP address is represented in terms of dotted decimal notation. So just you have seen that the IP address is a length of 32 bits. So if we represent a sample IP address is written over here. So if we are representing this sample IP address like this one, the whole IP address is not converted to the decimal value. Rather, each of these bytes is converted to its equivalent decimal notation, and these decimal notations are represented by separating them with a dot. So first 8 bits in this case is converted to decimal value 128. The second byte is converted to its decimal, which is 131. The third byte is converted to its decimal, which is 68, and the fourth byte is converted to its decimal value, which is 5. Now the IP address is represented like 128.131.68.5. Okay, so the whole IP address in terms of bits is not directly converted to a single integer value. Rather, each of the octets or the bytes is converted to its equivalent decimal notation, and the decimal values are separated by a dot in case of IP version 4, so that it is known as dotted decimal notation. Now we are coming to subnet mask. Now, given an IP address like the previous one, the IP address belongs to a particular host, and the host must be connected to a network. Now, just by seeing the IP address, how we can extract the NetID part, or how we can extract the IP address of the network itself? That is done by using subnet mask. It is used to get the network address or the NetID. The length of the subnet mask is same as the length of the IP address. That means in this case is 32 bits. And the NetID is obtained by bitwise ANDing the IP address and the subnet mask. For example, if the IP address is like given in this case it's 128.131.68.5, whose binary equivalent is like this, its equivalent subnet mask will be 255.255.0.0. How it is coming? Because just by seeing the IP address, or rather the first byte of the IP address, we can see it starts with 128. That means it belongs to class B IP address. And for class B IP address, the net ID and the host ID both are equal to 16 bits long. So first 16 bits of the IP address will be net ID, and next 16 bits will be host ID. In case of subnet mask, the first 16 bits, that is the length of the net ID, is represented in terms of ones. So in this case, first 8 bits are 1, second 8 bits are also 1, and the remaining 16 bits, that is last 2 bytes, are 0. That means in this case there will be 8 zeros and 8 zeros. So this is the binary notation for the subnet mask in case of class B. And if we convert this into the decimal value, obviously the first byte will be 255, the second byte will also be 255, third byte will be 0, and the fourth byte is also 0. So 255.255.0.0, it is the class B subnet mask. Now if we logically AND bitwise between the IP address and the subnet mask, then what we obtain as a result is the first byte is same as the byte in the IP address. Second byte is also same as the byte in the IP address, that is this one. These two are same. Original IP address bit pattern will be obtained. But in case of third and the fourth bytes, it will be all zeros, because the subnet mask contains zeros. So if we AND this with the original bit pattern of the IP address for the last 2 bytes, it will extract to 0. So the result of this ANDing is the lower binary values, which is written over here. Now if we convert this binary value into its equivalent decimal notation, then it will be 128.131.0.0. Now it represents basically the net ID part, and the host ID parts are 0. in this case. That means is this 128.131.0.0, this as a whole represents the IP address of the network itself, in which the IP address 128.131.68.5 belongs. So that particular host carrying the IP address 128.131.68.5 is connected to a network, and the IP address of the network itself is 128.131.0.0. Now, depending on the class of the IP address, in case of class A, B, or C, the length of the host ID and the net ID differs. So, accordingly, the masking is also different for different classes. So, for example, in case of class A, as the length of the host ID is only 8 bits, in case of subnet mask, first 8 bits will be 1 and remaining 24 bits will be 0. And if we represent this into dotted decimal notation, then the subnet mask becomes 255.0.0.0. In case of class B, as the length of the host ID is 16 bits and the length of the net ID is 16 bits, so first 16 bits, which is the part of the length net ID, this is represented as all ones. So we are getting in the decimal equivalent form 255.255, and the host ID as it is 0, it is 0.0. So 255.255.0.0, it is the subnet mask for class B address. In case of class C, as first 28 bits represent net ID and remaining 8 bits only represent host ID. So in case of subnet mask, first 24 bits are all ones. So in the decimal equivalent form, it is 255.255.255 and then 0. So this is the subnet mask for class C. So depending on the class in which a particular IP address belongs, we can select proper subnet mask to get the IP address of the network itself. Now the next topic is subnetting. The concept of subnetting comes from the physical mapping of the physical address, logical address of the machine or the host, that is the IP address, with the physical location. For example, if we have a campus and there are different buildings or offices within the campus, we belong to a particular network, no doubt, but just by seeing the IP address, we cannot identify in which building or which location the particular machine resides. So subnetting is a concept where the part of the host ID can be broken up into two different parts. One is your subnetting part and subnet ID, and other is the host ID. So that a particular subnet ID represents a particular physical locations. For example, if we are having the machines located in 4 different buildings, each of the buildings can uniquely carry one subnet ID, and machines within that subnet ID or that building will be having different host ID part. So for example, if we are having a class B IP address, so it will carry first 16 bits as net ID and remaining 16 bits as host ID. Now the host ID part, that is remaining 16 bits, or the LSB side 16 bits, can be divided into two parts. One is your subnet ID and other is the host ID. So the subnet ID in this case contains 9 bits and the host ID contains 7 bits. That means we can have 2 to the power 9 number of subnet IDs in this case, representing 2 to the power 9 number of locations or the buildings or the laboratories or offices, whatever it is. And this 2 to the power 7 number of hosts can reside in a particular location or building. So we can just by seeing the subnet ID part, we can extract the physical location of the machine. So here is one more example, that if this is the situation, that means the net ID, original net ID is 16 bits, and also we are carrying the subnet ID which is another 9 bits, then the equivalent subnet masking will be first 16 bits will obviously be 1 because it is the original net ID part, and in the host ID also first 9 bits will be 1 because we are allocating these 9 bits as subnet ID, and remaining 7 bits will be 0. So in this case, if we make a decimal equivalent of this subnet mask, we can have the first 8 bits which will be equivalent to 255, next 8 bits will be again equivalent to 255, third 8 bits will be again equivalent to 255, and the fourth or the last 8 bits will be equivalent to 128. So the subnet mask in this case will be 255.255.255.128. So in this case, if we have a particular machine which is having the IP address like 150.100.12.176, it belongs to class B. And if we are using that particular subnetting scheme, that means first 9 bits of the host ID will be subnet ID and remaining 7 bits will be host ID. That will lead to a subnet mask of 255.255.255.128. And if we logically add these two, that is the IP address and the subnet mask, we will get the network ID like to 150.100.12.128. So this will be the IP address of the particular machine, of the IP address of the particular subnet in which this particular machine belongs to. That means this 150.100.12.176, this machine is connected to a particular subnet, and that subnet is having the IP address 150.100.12.128. And the machines that will carry the IP address like 150.100.12.129 to 254. So all the machines will have the IP address within this range 150.100.12.129 to 150.100.12.254. So this particular machine, that is 150.100.12.126, this belongs to that particular subnet ID. Now in case of different subnet ID, the subnet mask will be same, but the network address will not be 150.100.12.128, but it will be something different. That is the identity of the different subnet in the particular LAN. So just by using proper subnet masking, in case of subnetting, we can identify in which particular location this particular machine or the host belongs to or connected. In this case, it is connected to a particular subnet ID that carries the IP address like 150.100.12.128, and there will be some mapping. Okay, this network is in building number this one. So this is the importance of subnetting. And there is another variety. We have already seen that is a classful IP address where there are 5 classes depending on different net ID and host ID. Starting bit patterns are different, but ultimately that class ABC will have the net ID part of 8 bits, 16 bits and 24 bits, and sometimes it becomes a problem. For example, if we are having some number of machines, that is maybe we are having a class C IP address which can carry at most 255 machines, but if the number of machines is more than 255, that is it is 500, 700, 1000 or 1500, obviously we'll have to procure multiple class C IPs. Okay, and that is not properly manageable. So we can go for a class B IP address that can accommodate a more number of hosts. So but that will lead to one problem, that is commercial, that will be more costly. And one more problem is class B IP address will have the accommodation of 2 to the power 16 number of hosts. So in this case, though we have more number of hosts, maybe in terms of thousands, but it is very less compared to its maximum capacity. So most of the IP address will be unutilized. That is also very wastage of the network resource. So to manage this one, we can go for class less IP address where the length of the net ID and host ID is not exactly in a multiple of 8 bits like 8, 16 and 24. Rather, it is allocated depending on the requirement by using a slash notation. That means in this case, the length of the net ID is not exactly like 8 bits or 16 bits or 24 bits. Rather, it is represented in terms of slash notation. For example, if we are having some IP address like 194.1, 194.24.10.23, Just by seeing the first byte value, that is 194, we can easily say that it is a class C IP address, because class C starts from 192. But as there is a slash notation written after this one, this slash 21, it indicates that the length, this slash indicates that it is a classless IP address. And the data or the value after this slash is 21, it means the length of the net ID is 21 bits from the MSB side. So it is not exactly 24 bits, not exactly 16 bits. It is in between. So slash 21 means the net ID, the length of the net ID is 21 bits from the MSB side, and remaining 11 bits will be host ID. So it is adjustable. Basically, it depends on the number of hosts, the maximum number of hosts that we are using. Depending on that, we can remain the host ID, and remaining part is net ID. So in this case, in this example, first 21 bits will be your net ID, and remaining 11 bits will be host ID. And how to form the subnet mask? Subnet mask will be all ones up to the net ID part. So the first 21 bits will be net ID. So first 8 bits will lead to 255, second 8 bits will also lead to 255. Third 8 bits will have a combination of ones and zeros, because in this part there will be 5 ones and 3 zeros. So its decimal equivalent will be 248, and the last one will be 0. So in this case, the subnet mask will be 255.255.248.0. So accordingly, we can set the subnet mask. In this case, the IP address is not wasted. It depends on the number of hosts, that is my requirement or customer's requirement, which is expecting some IP range. So according to the expectation, we can allocate the number of net ID bits or number of host ID bits, so the IP address is properly managed. And depending on the allocation of the IP address, there is the IP address is of two types, static IP and another is dynamic IP. If the IP address is provided by the local administrator manually, it is fixed, then it is known as a static IP. But if the IP address is dynamically allocated by some server, that is known as DHCP server or dynamic host configuration protocol server, then it will be termed as a dynamic IP. So DHCP server maintains the available IP addresses that is allocated to a particular machine that is connected to the network at some time. So it is dynamically allocated for that particular duration of connection. So for multiple connections, it will allocate multiple or different IP addresses depending on the availability. So this is all for today, and next day we'll start IPv4 protocol.